Good morning, comic book fam. Good morning to another comic book review. And today, well, the future state is here. So let's talk. Let's start talking about future state with the next Batman, right? That is, of course, the most expensive book out of future state, which. Oh boy, it is a $8. Of course, if you pre-order it, you paid around five. Like that would be the price for you. It's roughly around 80 pages long. Like it's a really thick. It's a really thick book, so that's why you're paying so much. One thing to know about this when you're buying it, the pages are not from the same material they've used for previous books. This is actually almost like a regular paper, like, which I've enjoyed, because when you read at night, like, the light is here and it doesn't glow as much. Like, it does glow a bit, right? But you see, like, it does a bit, but even though when it glows, you can still see, even on the camera, you can still see from that distance what it's written. So really good paper. I hope they're gonna keep that paper on the books, because it's really nice, especially on the Batman. We have two short stories here. I mean, short, like they're all like 30, 40 pages long, but there are two stories. We got the next Batman, and also we've got Outsiders and Arkham Knights. Let's just call them Outsiders for now, because that is one big story combined. If I'm correct. No, I am wrong. Okay, yeah, great, I was wrong. Outsiders and Arkham Knights, because Outsiders are on the outside of Gotham. Remember that. I was reading it at night. So three stories. First one is, of course, the next Batman, the one that everyone wanted to see. And actually, the art of that story is absolutely gorgeous. It's written by John Ridley, but the art is by Nick Darrington, and the colorist Tamara Bonvillain. And again, look at that. This just brings you back, this art style and the coloring. It's great. It's absolutely great. And I think this is the best thing about the story. The art and the coloring. So the whole idea is that Gotham right now is a police state, right? And this is going to be throughout Batman books that are revolving around Gotham in the future state. It's a police state where there is this new private army that take the lead, and everyone who's wearing masks is on their target list, and they're just gonna kill you on the spot or imprison you. Right, literally that. Also, they have a deck of cards, which you learn in the next Batman, that just shows all the villains that they are supposed to capture or kill. So they're like, if you look to like Saddam Hussein war, so like Iraq versus America, right, when America invaded Iraq, soldiers had a deck of cards with the faces of people they are supposed to kill or capture, because they were like main targets. So that's kind of like some kind of that idea there. But that's all the good stuff for now. But what is the story? So let's take a look at the first one, right? So first one opens up with a guy that just raped someone and committed another crime. So, it's getting stopped by a new Batman, which is, of course, Fox's son. And how it goes. He stops him. He goes like, I'm going to rip your mask off, so at least they're not going to kill you. And he goes away. And he goes like, all right, so that was the Batman. And he talks to himself like, yeah, no, I am the Batman. I am the Batman. The problem is, if you want to lay down where the book exists, because on one hand you feel like, oh, that's just alternative universe. But then you look at, for example, Dark Detective, and Bruce is still relatively young. Like, he's in his 40s here. So in like what few years the Gotham changed so much, but okay. So we go back to, of course, Fox residence, and we learn that the mother of the next Batman, right, of the Fox, is actually trying to help the police, because police is not that bad. It's all that private army, and you will see, guys, it's all good. And he goes like, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna let her believe, but the city is corrupted, it's super bad. no one cares about anyone. And with that, we go to the new gang, which is this little Santa Prisca neighborhood, because now we have gangs in each neighborhood, and in that neighborhood we have kind of like a Bane gang right there, and we got the 2 new recruits, and the 2 new guys just want an identity. They want to be somewhere because no one cares about them, so they join the gang, which is literally every single story like that. Of course, the Fox goes to see his little sister. She had an accident. We don't know what the accident really was, but he finds his brother there that, well, really didn't like the family and who was a dick to the family, kind of. So he was like, hey, dude, you were a dick to us, just leave. So he leaves. And then we get one of the investigators going to the pitch where Whitaker, he was previously a police officer, now he is not anymore, is playing some baseball, and have a conversation about the private army and how political it is. And he literally just goes like, you know what, yeah, let's just not dug deep into that. The city is fucked. And the Batman, no one cares, like, just leave it. So we go back to the 2 kids that just became gang members, and they want to shoot a guy, and it turns out that the guy also has his gun. The kids miss, and, well, Batman goes after them, right? So the Batman destroys the car that the kids are in, beats up the bigger guys, beats up the leaders of the 4 that were there. The 2 kids are running away, and, well, the private army shows up. So the Batman is like, alright, you know what, guys, you're fucked, so I'm just gonna grab you, grapple hook you, and, well, I'm just gonna, take you to the child service, so you have to figure out your life. And that's it. So that is literally it. Of course, we know that there's gonna be a new gang coming, right? It's a bit of a teaser of a brand new gang, but that's it. What I think about this story, it's mediocre at best. It feels like that was supposed to be the issue number 1 of the book, and if that would be an issue number 1, and I know that would be an ongoing series, I'd be like, okay, cool, we set up the character. Okay, I haven't paid, like $8 for it. So I'm like, alright, we'll see where this is gonna go. But if you were not already hooked on the idea of having the next Batman, on having that, new scenario, you're not gonna enjoy that. It's just like, it's there, but that's what it is. Then we go to the second story where we have an outside and the inside of the Gotham. And there goes just my problem. So we learned that literally the Gotham is, I don't know, because not in like a prison-esque, but this private army just owns the whole city to the point where there are logos, inside the Gotham. So there's like outside and the inside. That's we got outsiders because they're outside of the Gotham and they kind of live without that law. But if you want to live outside of the Gotham, you have to like escape like from a jail, because without that you're not gonna be able to get it. Like, that is so stupid. That is literally such a stupid idea. You have because the story itself is not bad, like, of that, but the idea is so stupid. It's insane to me, because you go like, you have a freaking Batman, you have a Justice League, you have all of that. Hell, how in the world you want to convince me that the next Batman is gonna work with anyone outside of the Gotham, if that's the problem right there, that, literally it's such a closed thing. Okay, never mind. So we got the outside and the inside, right? We got Katana and the Signal. The Signal is actually Duke, who you should kind of remember was one of the Robins, kind of, for Batman, the guy with the yellow suit, and he also was one of the keys to get into the dark multiverse, right? Because he had some of nth metal in him, like his mother, because he had those powers. and Batman kind of used him to recreate the machine. Where like, yeah, read the Road to Mel and Mel, you'll see him there. But he was in the Bat family. So we got a shot of outside on the inside of the Gotham. So we got Katana actually flying to help Duke, and the Duke is running away from the Private Army, from the Magistrate, that is their name, with the car, with the people in that car. And they're like, are we hostages? They're like, no, shush, I'm just getting there. So he crushes, Katana stabs the Magistrate, of course, and people are so happy that they are now on the outside. So on one hand, you're telling me that, yeah, everyone can go on the outside, but on the other hand, we need like Duke to help people to get out of the Gotham, right? Because, you know, like, fuck off. Literally, it's stupid. So like, how, you know, how the next Batman, you know, is gonna go do the Justice League stuff when things are like, why? Yeah, so I'm glad, you know, it's shown, but that's the outsider story, right? Of course, they mentioned the next Batman like a couple of times here. So we got Duke talking to the Katana, and they're like, hey, Duke, you know, you cost me fuel, and I have a different mission there, because there is a safe house where we think we got some magistrate stuff, and someone is selling weapons to them, so I'm going there. And she's going to that warehouse, and we had a really cool sequence. I do like that sequence. That is an amazing sequence. She enters the building here, and as she enters, like, you follow her. The art is quite good. Again, paper, oh, so good. So she goes to the bottom, and she finds, of course, the main bad guy, the main villain that we have right here. And the guy is, what was his name? I keep forgetting. No, not Tatsu. Tatsu is Katana's husband that is dead, and she talks to him because he is part of her sword. Caliber. Caliber is the guy. So Caliber has like those. If you, I know it's gonna sound stupid, but if you've read King in Black, Titan Thunderbolts, there was a guy that had like braces that were like, you know, electric braces that can do stuff. It's kind of the same thing. There's like electric braces that are making him super strong, and like he can attack and do whatever he wants. So he fights with those braces. Katana kind of losing, but she manages to hit actually one of the braces with her sword, even though she got shot in the leg. So one of the braces is destroyed. There is still a second one, and as she's about to get destroyed, there's a crack like a cocoon, right? There's a lightning hitting near, of course, near the Caliber. The Caliber goes to the car and goes away. He runs away, but we learned that the lightning was not an ordinary lightning, because it can't be. It is a Jefferson, and Jefferson was turned into the lightning, and he has been turned into Black Lightning, and that is the new character that is introduced. He grabs the sword. He grabs the katana. He can talk to Tatsu, which is Katana's husband in the sword, and he goes like, "This is no time. There is a more urgent matter. There is a magistrate, you know, rat or a mole inside our safe house, right?" And we see which one is it, and this is this fellow right here. A clear indication, right? His eyes are different, so you go like, "Oh yeah, he's not wearing glasses, so that's him." That is not a bad story if you would set it up like years after the next Batman, or like, you know, in the timeline is so screwed over in the future state for Gotham. It's bad. It's just absolutely annoying, because the problems on top of problems. Yeah, but let's move on to the last story. The last story is Arkham Knight. So literally, this story sets up, and again, explain to me, because we also have a Gripper, and we also have Batman fighting for good, like Bruce Wayne in the second book. I'm gonna probably do a separate video on it, because maybe I'm too dumb, or maybe I'm overthinking it. So we've got the Arkham Knight, and he has a small army of villains that are now fighting for good. Of course, we've got Arkham Knight is called Astrid Knight because she's Astrid, that's her name. She has like Two-Face, Clayface with her, Lizardman, like a couple of other guys that are working with her to help the Gotham, right? Because I mean, the idea is great, because if there is Magistrate, like they can't be villains, so let's just kill them all. And we learned that the Gotham is divided two sectors, and each sector has their own leader. So throughout the story, they are trying to kill one of the leaders of the sector, actually the leader number 12 of the sector number 12. And they actually, their main hideout is the Wayne Manor. So they go, they save Killer Croc, right? Killer Croc wants to die, but they save him and give him to this like pod. They put him in, so his wounds are gonna heal. Like I know I'm jumping a bit, but like they fight a bit of a Magistrate. They run away. They go to Killer Croc. They save him. Then of course we got Alex, who has this mutation. They try to save him, but he wants to die as well. So they go and they have this last attack on the number 12 guy, and they just kill him. Right, we see they kill him. That's it. Like literally, that's the story. There's like not more to it. I don't want to read any more of the Arkham Knights. I really don't. And the fact that it is a chapter 1, it is really bad. I mean, I hope the chapter 2 is gonna be like the rise. So like, what is gonna be the rise? Okay, so you kill the guy. What's next? The next Batman is a 4 out of 10 book. It's a bad book. There are ideas, but they're just really bad books, and the timeline is bad. They should have separated, so like single issue only the next Batman story, then single issue only the Outsiders, then like just go with full line, not do this like anthology kind of books, because not only you're going for $8, but this is not looking good when you're reading certain things back to back. Like you see the cracks. It's like the writers did not communicate with each other. It's like separately, if I would only read the next Batman and I wouldn't read other like the Outsiders and the Grifter and like which is in the other book and the Arkham Knights, like if I wouldn't read that and only read the next Batman, I'd be like, cool, solid 7, why not? But because of the rest of the stories, you see the cracks of that future state Gotham. Like you see the cracks in the narrative. It's like on one hand the Magistrate rules them all. You can't move from inside to the outside. But like, why? Right? Like, there are just so many plot holes. There's just so many, it's like, we got villains. Let's make them fight for good. It's just not that great. I know there's a lot of people that enjoy the future state. I just want next Batman to be Batman book. Like, that's what I want. Or, like, that's it. Because, like, Katana's story, I couldn't care less about that. I mean, again, this is the strong point. Like, Katana's story is a strong point of the book. But you read that and you go, like, I don't care at the end of the day. It's like, I don't want to know what happens next. And that, I think, is the DC right now. You read DC, and after reading the, like, whatever issue you can take, Batman 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, and you go like, I don't need to know what happened next. I don't care. Because I kind of know already. Or, like, I'm not happy with it. It's just that. So it's a 4 out of 10. I'm sorry, DC. But slowly, I'm thinking about pre-ordering less and less DC. Like, to the point where I also pre-order, like, Spider-Man stuff. And I'm getting more into Marvel, unfortunately. Because it is... I don't know... Okay, so on the one hand, yes, we got the new writers and, like, trying to test them out. Cool. but not with anthology books, not like that. Just give them the single issue. It's like, it's the next Batman, let it be. We don't need like those. It's like, let it be 30, 30 pages. It'll be okay. And just give me that. Don't rip me off on those stories, please. 4 out of 10. Don't buy it. Just don't get into a future state. There's nothing in there. And the other stories they suck, to be honest. It's like they have a bunch of cool ideas, but that's it. I think it's not for me, unfortunately. So, but let me know what you think about the future state. Is it good? Is it bad for you? Do you like it? Maybe you don't. Let me know in the comments down there below. But in the meantime, goodbye, good night, have a fantastic rest of the day. Take care. Bye.